Maguindanao Sultanate. Maguindanao is a province in the Philippines situated in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Bar, occupying the Sulu Archipelago and the provinces of Lanao del Sur and Maguindanao in central Mindanao. Its capital is the municipality of Sheriff Aguac. The Maguindanao are one of many groups of lowland Filipinos, apparently Southwest Asia, several thousand years ago. Today, they live primarily on the island of Mindanao, which is located in southern Philippines. The name Maguindanao means the people of the floodplain. It was given to both the people and the island on which they live. According to legend, the Maguindanao were converted to Islam by Sheriff Kabunsuan, a Muslim prince who claimed to be a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. The legend states that he won his converts by a combination of his wisdom, the appeal of his message, and certain supernatural powers. This prince married a local woman who is said to have been born miraculously from a stalk of bamboo. The prince married Putri Tanina, the adopted sister of Datus Tabunawe, and Datu Mamalu, by whom he begot no male heir, but 3 daughters, one of whom was married to the founder of the Principality of Buyan, whose later rulers also adopted the style of sultan, marrying an Iranian princess, Anjantabu. He begot Sarapada Maka Alang, who became the second sultan of Maguindanao in between 1515 and 1574. Sarapada Maka Alang married Bulim, the daughter of a blonde chieftain, thus widening further Maguindanao's sphere of influence to include the Aborigines. The Blondes are the indigenous people of the mountainous interior of south and central regions of the archipelago. Out of this marriage was born Datu Bangkaya, who ruled as 3rd Sultan of Maguindanao at 1574 to 1578. Out of 3 marriages, Datu Bangkaya bore 3 children, who all ruled Maguindanao, one after the other. By an Iranian lady, he begot Datu Dimasenki, 4th Sultan of Maguindanao at 1578 to 1585. By a Buyan lady, he begot Gugu Saricula, 5th Sultan of Maguindanao opening parenthesis at 1585-1597 closing parenthesis. By a Maguindanian lady, he begot Datu Bizan, who was called Capitan Lot, during the reign of his elder brother, 6th Sultan of Maguindanao 1597-1619. All the Datus and sultans in the principalities of Lanao, except a few who trace their lineage to the legendary Banchigan, claim descent from Sultan Damangsake. Sultan Saricula married a daughter, or as some say, sister of the Sultan of Sulu, Sultan Muelul Wasite Ka. Raja Bungsu, and reportedly resided in Sulu after he was ousted by his younger brother in 1597. By this time, Bizan has already consolidated his hold on the whole island with the Iranian and Maranao Datus, acknowledging his suzerainty. Thus, the Spaniards attempting to secure alliance with individual Datus of the lake utterly failed. As one writer put it, the region in the vicinity of Lake Lanao was under the rule of King Buisan Sik at the time of the first Spanish penetration. As Captain Lot or Admiral of the Navy, Bizan was in charge of punitive raids against the Spanish Philippines, following the latter's armed intrusions into Maguindanao territory. During the course of these raids, he entered into friendly relations with the native Datus of the Visayas, promising them aid in case they fight the Spaniards. When he became Sultan and overlord of Mindanao, he continued, even intensified these policies. This was a period when Maguindanao, like its European counterparts, actively engaged in privateering, or slave procurement and trading, with its best merchandise finding its way into the hands of the gentlemen of the British East India Company Ike and the Dutch Verenigd Ostindische Company VOC. Bizan was a diplomat, naval officer, statesman, and king rolled into one. He gave his daughter Gayang in marriage to a Matanding, son of Sultan Damangsake, strengthening further his hold on the Iranians and or Maranaos. He also married off his son, Kachal Kudarat, to another daughter of Sulu Sultan Mualul Wasit, Panjian and Pay. In passing, It bears recalling that this Sulu Sultan was reputed to be a son of Sultan Hassan or Penjaran Budiman by the time of his death around 1619. Sultan Bizan has paved the way for a smooth succession of Kachal Kudarat, who proved as worthy as his father, reigning and ruling as the 7th Sultan of Maguindanao for more than half a century. Sultan Dipatuan Muhammad Qadrachla Nazir ad-Din 1619-1671 saw the zenith of Maguindanao's external and internal sovereignty. Here, we omit details of Kudarat's achievements, especially his war exploits, as it has been extensively covered by Majol, Casio, Larhoven and others. An article was also written in the Philippine Daily Inquirer, emphasizing the little discussed traits of the Sultan, such as his being a diplomat, trader, polyglot, mystic, legal authority, ecumenist and gentleman, contrary to his image painted by some ignorant portraitists. The period beginning from the reign of Kabunsuan to Sultan Kudarat saw the expansion of Maguindanao from a tiny riverine town in what is now known as Cotabato City to a semi-feudal kingdom with all the trappings of a state, extending from Sindangan Bay in the Zamboanga Peninsula eastward to Tagum in the Caraga region, and from what is now known as northern Mindanao to Sarangani Island. The Maguindanian or Maguindana, for some, inhabit North Cotabato, South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, Zamboanga del Sur, and Maguindanao, the latter having the largest concentration. Maguindanian means people of the floodplain, for they primarily inhabit the broad Pulangi River Valley and Delta, which occasionally flood. The Pulangi River had its origin in the mountains from the Liguizan Marsh and Lake Buluan, since the authority and influence of Maguindanian rulers once extended over a wide territory from Sibugay Bay in the west to the coast of Davao in the east. The name Mindanao was applied to the second largest island of the Philippines. They are found predominantly in 4 provinces: Maguindanao, North Cotabato, South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, thus forming the Cotabato region. As a people, they practice Islam, which significantly influences their way of life and social structure. At one point in history, the Maguindanao Sultanate asserted ritual influence over southwestern Mindanao. Their socio-political system and hierarchical organization are related to the Sulu Sultanate, which 3 royal houses, Maguindanian and Sultan Kabuntulan, Buyan and Dadupiang, and Kabuntulan and Tumbao, all of which trace their ancestry to Sheriff Kabunsuan, who was one of the first Muslim missionaries, and Sultan Kudarat. The Puluran Code includes provisions on every aspects of life, celebrated for their exquisite, hand-woven fabric and all, interlaced with multiple colors, as well as gold and silver threads. The colors of the fabric and depicted symbolic motifs reflected the splendor of Muslim culture. The Maguindanian are divided into 2 principal groups, each with its own dialect and traditional location. The Tausa-Ilid, people of the lower valley, and the Tausa-Lea, people of the upper valley. The Tausa-Ilid are concentrated in the areas around Cotabato City and extended to South Dinig. Traditionally, they constituted the Sultanate of Maguindanao, based near present-day Cotabato City. Their dialect is characterized by more rapid, harder consonant intonations, with preference for using D rather than R, and variations on the use of L and R. They're renowned as sedentary wet rice agriculturalists. The Tausa-Lea, on the other hand, are concentrated in the areas of Dadupiang and extend south to areas which include Buluan. As a group, they constituted the Rajaship of Buyan, based near present-day town of Dadupiang. Their dialect is distinguished by a slower cadence, a drawl, with frequent omission of the consonants between vowels and a preference for using L rather than R, periodic variations of R for D, and some differentiated vocabulary. Their primary means of livelihood is a semi-sedentary agriculture, and grow corn and upland rice. Most Maguindanao follow standard Islamic beliefs and practices, but the native Maguindanians persevere to a form of folk Islam. Their beliefs in spirits, sorcery, and supernatural beings is still evident in their culture and ceremonies. The Apo na Pele, or the grandfather of the rice, is a tribe member who conducts rituals and chants incantations over the rice fields at night to ensure a good harvest. During the month of Ramadan, all tribe members will participate in various ceremonies that are associated with fasting. Other ceremonies, such as those related to birth, marriage, and death, have both indigenous and Islamic beliefs and rituals. The Maguindanao are traditionally a peace-loving, inland-dwelling tribe. The essence of the ancient Islamic faith and culture remains a great part of their daily life. A great contradiction, however, is their culture of dominant clan power that is deeply rooted within the Maguindanao tribes. Clan wars or blood feuds have long been embedded in the life in many parts of Maguindanao. These feuds characterized by occasional outbursts of retaliatory violence called rido, a term that originated from the Maranaos. The causes of rido are commonly offenses to honor, land disputes, crime against women, and offenses between families, kinship group, and communities. Maguindanians celebrate the Sheriff Kabunsuan Festival, an extraordinary display of Muslim religion and culture. It is a colorful feast commemorating and celebrating the arrival of Sheriff Kabunsuan via Rio Grande, Mindanao, more than 500 years ago. For centuries, Islam has brought peace and harmony to the people of the Maguindanao tribe, a tribe with a turbulent past, a vibrant present, and uncertain future. Maintaining the unique Maguindanao culture while operating in the modern Mindanao way of life will be a huge challenge and a great opportunity to show the world the real and peaceful face of the Maguindanao tribe.